We are gathered today as Dr. Zebra is away at a different location. We have a guest therapist with us today. We are grateful for those that are here. This week, the theme is listening. May I introduce our guest therapist?
Hello, thank you so much. My name is Anne McFoxy, and Dr. Zebra asked me to facilitate for her. I'm from Canada. I hope that won't be a problem. I'm sorry if it is. The notes that I've created, just to give you an idea of where we are. We have Ernie the elephant. He experiences significant loneliness in his enclosure, and it appears to be in an effort to make meaningful connection. He has some difficulty with navigating appropriate boundaries with others in the group. Sparky, the baby dragon, is 100 years old and entering puberty. She's experienced a lot of changes in her life, and even though many of these changes are positive, she's uncertain about what this means for her place and her family and the world around her. She's eager to make friends, but that has been proven difficult and challenging given that she's a carnivorous dragon. Donnie the donkey has identified that there are some issues he would like to unpack in therapy, but after 12 sessions, he has not yet talked about what those are. He appears to wear a prosthetic mane, again for unknown reasons, and appears to exhibit some nervousness. He participates well with others in the group, often exerting appropriate and healthy boundaries with others. Reginald the giraffe lives with a debilitating phobia of height that impacts his ability to socialize with others of his own species. He appears to have some effective coping strategies with the loneliness that this creates, although it's unclear whether or not he is ready to work through the primary issues at this time. Dr. Wally Codswallop, the cockatoo, seems to end up in confrontation with almost everyone in the group, almost every session. And while his personality has clear narcissistic earmarks, he continues to come and participate in every group every week. He's even shown some ability to show empathic connections with one or two other participants. So we will see how this goes. Again, I'm sorry that Dr. Zebra isn't here, and I hope that it won't be a problem. Let's move on to individual conversations.
No, you didn't introduce me.
Ronnie.
That's
I'm
bad.
sorry. I am sorry, Ronnie.
He's the most
Ronnie the rhinoceros. Ronnie the rhinoceros is a gentle soul. She experiences loneliness, and she experiences, desire to connect with others, and has some difficulty. She seems to have made some connections with Ernie the elephant, which has proven to be meaningful for both of them. Welcome here, everyone. Did I get everyone now?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on. This week we are going to be talking about listening, and I thought that a good way to talk about listening would be if we had individual conversations with each other. And so I'm going to invite, let's start with Dr. Wally Codswallop and Ronnie, since they seem to have the most meaningful connection with each other, or at least Dr. Wally does with Ronnie.
Can I have a meaningful conversation with Sparky or Ernie?
You know what? Maybe that's something that we can do next week. But this week, let's do this. How do you feel about that, Ronnie?
With Dr. Codswallop? With Mr.
Dr.
Codswallop? With the
Yeah.
Codswallop?
Well, I thought that since last time he really kind of defended you, perhaps it would be something that would help both of you to, get to know each other a little bit more.
I guess I missed him defending me, but all right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I did. I defended you because I am a kind-hearted soul. And I defend all creatures that deserve to be defended.
You know, I've wondered, Dr. Codswallop, where you got that whole you defend yourself against the world kind of a thing. Was that from your owner?
How do you know? I don't what? I am merely a kind soul trying to take over the world because I think it'd be a better place. And I'm doing it out of the goodness of my heart to save people, mostly, except those that deserve not to be saved.
And who tells you who deserves to be saved?
I have a very, very good brain.
You're a bird.
Yes, and birds can be intelligent. Birds can be extremely intelligent. The whole myth, the whole thing against us being bird brains. Well, I'm not. I have a brain that's oh, you wouldn't even understand. You can't comprehend my brain. My brain is it's active. It's very, very active. And I know most things that most people do not know.
So thank you so much, Dr. Codswallop. I sense that you have a lot of knowledge about a lot of things. And I'm wondering if, Ronnie, perhaps there's a question that perhaps you would like to ask Dr. Codswallop to give him an opportunity to share some of his knowledge, if that's okay.
Go ahead, shoot away. Oh,
I wish I could.
you
but
probably
instead,
don't know enough to ask me anything.
So, tell us about your experience with flying.
Oh. Flying is, well, of course, it's supreme over other creatures. And, of course, I love it. I love it.
Where do you fly now?
I do it. What?
Where do you fly now?
If I didn't have the net, oh, I'd be soaring. I'd be soaring
Have you ever
higher
flown
than
anywhere?
What?
Have you ever flown anywhere?
Of course I have. Yes, indeed, flying. Oh, I love it. And flying loves me.
Because where were you before you were with your owner? I don't even know what an owner is, but whatever the owner is.
Well, before I was, in this enclosure, this prison, where they mandate me to do silly things like this, because apparently I have an attitude, but they're the ones with attitudes. They are the ones.
Wait, you're in prison?
And yes, I'm in prison. No, pretty much. It's an enclosure. It's called an aviary. But, it's a miserable, miserable place with thugs. Everyone here is a thug and an abuser. And really, I'm the only one that can keep things safe.
Dr. Cods.
That's why I'm here. I think I'm here to keep the aviary safe.
Dr. Codswallop, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we are running out of time for our individual conversations. I would love for you to share more about that experience. It looks like it's really meaningful for you.
Which experience?
The experience of that dream you have of flying. Now, we're going to bring this conversation to a close, and I'm hoping to talk about a little bit about that another time, or maybe with you and Dr. Zebra. But we're going to move on now. We're going to move on to another conversation. Let's have a conversation between Sparky and Reginald, if that's okay.
Oh, yes, yes. Jolly good.
That's all right.
Yes.
I don't mind.
Oh, that's awesome, eh? I'm so glad. I'm sorry if this is not what you're used to, but I'm sure that it's going to be a meaningful experience for both of you. Does one of you have a conversation that you'd like to tell the other, or like to listen to what the other has to say?
Well, if I may begin, actually, picking up on a point from our last session, when Sparky informed us that her mother had added to the family, as it were, or is about to add to the family, however you interpret the process that they are going through. I would just like to reiterate that it is a marvelous experience to have a sibling, to have the family growing. And I just pray, Sparky, that you will look upon it as such, as a blessing, and not as an imposition amongst you and your parents.
Sparky, what do you think about that invitation?
Well, I don't know, because on the one hand, I'm worried that my parents won't have time for me. And Mom's awful concerned about that egg all the time, and doesn't really have time for me. And that worries me. I mean, what's so great about an egg? But I kind of like the idea of having somebody to play with.
Yes.
And then maybe when Dad finishes teaching me how to fly, I maybe in another 100 years I could teach my little brother or sister how to fly.
Exactly. You are looking upon it in a very positive way, Sparky, if I may say so. That of course is the way we should look upon things like this. When a change such as this comes into our lives, we do need to look at the positive, And I applaud you. I applaud you for taking that attitude. Obviously, your mother needs to spend more time with the egg right now because, well, you can do things for yourself at this point in your life, can you not? But the egg cannot. And so your mother needs to tend to the egg along those lines, you see.
Sparky, what do you think about what Reginald has talked about?
Well, I don't know why Dad can't go sit on the egg and let Mom come and do stuff with me, but I guess I guess I can kind of see that. I just would like to spend more time with Mom because Dad doesn't pay very much attention. He just tells me to go do stuff or on my own. But
yes.
And sometimes he's not very nice when he's teaching me how to fly. Mom's nicer. But
well, Dr. McFoxy, if I may, I think Sparky has hit on a discussion topic that perhaps in her 100 years, she's still not quite prepared to discuss the entire male-female relationships, and roles that we tend to assign one to the other. The male, I can't speak with authority about dragons, obviously. But the male of the species has certain responsibilities, as does the female. And it's not often within the species that they will share, So
well, you bring up a point that lots of people would agree with you, but every household, I think, is different.
Oh, yes.
Healthy versus unhealthy boundaries and healthy relationships. That would be a good thing to talk about in the future, too. With that, let's move on to our last discussion with Ronnie with Ernie and Donnie, and let's have a bit of a conversation between them. Welcome, Donnie and Ernie. Who would like to start in this conversation?
I'm Donnie should.
Okay.
I got nothing
Okay.
to say.
I'm good. I'm good with that. I'll start. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Especially, I think this is actually, if I may, Doc, if I may, it's a good pairing up, since Ernie and I kind of what do you call, maybe like the founding fathers of the group, as it were. We were the first two, and we used
to be buddies. We were best buddies.
Well, if I may, Ernie, you did ask me to go first, and so I'm trying to go first here. Okay, so if I may do this, I do want to say that the friction, as you might call it, the friction that's been kind of going on most recently in this relationship, and to be blunt, I'm being blunt. If I may, I do not know for sure exactly what started, what, when, where, why, and how. But I would just like to go on record right now as saying I am fully prepared to just put it all behind, to start from scratch, and to say, Ernie, you are my friend, and let's go on from here. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm at right now.
Okay, so Ernie, what did you hear? What did you hear Donnie saying there?
Well, it's not. I think he's not telling the truth, really, but that's okay, because I don't think he does. I don't think he's genuine, but I don't even know why he's in the group. I don't know why I like him so much. I just have always had a thing for donkeys. And when I met him, I thought, wow, my life is complete. I'm finally best buddies with a donkey. And he didn't feel the same way. He just thinks of me as an acquaintance.
Well, no, I said friend. And
So that means
in my
we can
opinion,
hang out?
in my opinion, if I may, there's levels. There's just meeting, there's acquaintance, there's getting to know, there's friend is up higher. It's up there, and then a few more past that. But still, I think we're I would say we're friends. We're friends. Yes.
Well, you've shown me what donkeys are. Maybe I don't want to be a donkey anymore. I want to be a zebra. I don't know where our zebra is.
Yeah. It hurts. It hurts when people don't reciprocate our feelings and our desires, doesn't it?
Where is our zebra? The zebra is not there for me, and she became my best buddy.
I'm so sorry that she's not here today. Like really sorry.
So now I have no real. Well, I do have Ronnie. Ronnie makes me happy.
Well,
but I don't want to be a rhinoceros. I still want to be like, equestrian sort of, zebra.
Either a zebra or a donkey.
Yeah, or a zonkey. Be great.
Foxes aren't so bad.
Yes, zonkies are the perfect blend.
Are foxes equestrian too?
Well, we've talked a lot about a lot of really challenging things. Let's
but I still love Donnie, but I don't want to be him anymore. I really liked it because I wanted to be him, but I realize I can't be him, and I'm an elephant stuck in an enclosure, and I'm not going to be able to run in fields. And
I like you, Ernie, just the way you are.
I like you too, Ronnie. You and I could run and do things, but I can't run like a donkey. They run fast and they jump and that's the thing. And they're funny. Donkeys are so funny. So they first brought me to the enclosure. They had these kid movie nights where they would put up a big screen and they showed this movie about a donkey and this green guy, and the donkey was funny. He was so fun. I thought, that's what I want to be.
You want to be somebody who is funny and somebody who would make you laugh.
And that can run, and that could be a best buddy. And
I run.
Yeah,
I run like 60 miles an hour.
See, we could do that, but I'm in enclosure, so I can't. But anyway, Donnie, I'm sorry. I won't bug you anymore. I realize that part of being a donkey is that fierce independence, and that's what I like. So I understand that. But
if I may, do we have time?
One final thought here, and then we've got to close this conversation.
Okay. I'll make it quick, or at least as quick as I can. I will. I promise. I will. If I may, Ernie, elephants can be fiercely independent. They can. They really can. You can be that way and still be an elephant. So there, I said it. Okay.
I have a herd instinct, and I haven't had a herd since I was very young. I remember it when I was a little elephant, and then I got endangered. So they saved me. And they saved me by taking me away from my family and my mom, and then taking away my tusks just as they were growing. And I miss my mom, and I miss all the other herd. There'd just be a lot of us. I think a lot of them were, I don't know what happened to them. We were all together, and then some of them would disappear, and then I disappeared, but they said it was to save me. So I'm saved, whatever that means.
And that's hard, isn't it, Ernie?
It is hard to be saved.
We've talked about a lot of really good things, but tough things today. We talked about healthy and unhealthy relationships. We've talked about how we feel when people don't react to us the way we want them to react. And maybe boundaries might be something that we could talk about in the future, or that you could talk about in the future with Dr. Zebra. I doubt I'll be back next week, but that's okay.
Good.
I'm sorry.
I'm not being mean. I just love Dr. Zebra like a whole lot.
That makes sense. And I'm not offended at all.
I don't know you. I've never talked to a fox, and I know nothing about foxes other than you like to steal eggs?
Sometimes.
Well, I was worried about Sparky.
Sparky's egg would probably be a little bit big for me, but I'm far away, and I really like this conversation. And I'm so glad that you invited me. Dr. Zebra invited me.
I feel a little manipulated.
Anne, could you please tell us some characteristics of your enclosure or surroundings in Canada? Thank you.
Thank you very much. My enclosure and surroundings in Canada, I live in Prince Edward Island. There's lots of foxes. I have many children. They're kids, and they are all long grown out of the house and on their own. And while I like to eat eggs, I also like to eat scraps. And lots of people like to feed me because, well, I am adorable. So, yeah.
You're prettier than me. I'll say that.
Thank you.
Horrible.
You are
I think
adorable.
you're pretty.
Yeah, me and Ronnie
I
aren't.
think you'd be a
pretty
good
at all.
friend. Maybe when I can fly, I could go pick you up.
Oh,
How many kids?
yeah, you know what's going to happen there.
Thank you for that education.
What's Canada?
Would it be possible to find a topic that we can ponder for this next week? We'll be taking a week off, as it is a holiday in the human world next week. So we will have 2 weeks to ponder this next topic.
Oh no, it's a human holiday. That means all the people and the kids will be throwing peanuts at me, and I hate peanuts.
I've never had a peanut.
It's not good. They think we like peanuts, and we really don't. We don't.
So what would people like to talk about?
Well, you mentioned boundaries.
I
What-
think well, Dr. Wally has issues. I think his issue.
I think we all have issues.
Yeah,
Yes.
but he seems to have more issues because he doesn't disclose anything about himself.
Okay. Well,
My
what kind
boundaries
of,
were almost all for it.
we've heard about boundaries. Any other ideas for?
Well,
How
I
no
would say
boundary.
I would say that I would also be in favor of discussing boundaries and Ronnie, not specifically the physical boundaries that we find ourselves in the midst of.
Oh.
For some, that is the flora and the fauna. For others, it is an enclosure of some kind. But I think the mental boundaries, the societal boundaries that we find ourselves either put ourselves into or are placed in the midst of. Either way, I think would be a ripe topic for discussion,
I don't believe in boundaries. Herds have no boundaries.
That's true. Elephants in the wild don't have boundaries. Most animals in the wild don't have boundaries.
I wish I was wild like Ronnie.
It sounds like boundaries for creatures of all kind, both the human species and the creatures that are in this room now, are of a variety of shapes and sizes, both mentally and physically,
I'm that.
emotionally and psychologically. Boundary sounds like a very interesting topic to ponder.
Okay, yeah, whatever, yeah, I'm open, yeah.
I think that they're very, very unhealthy. So do I. I don't like the boundaries.
Well, all the more reason to bring up the topic. That's what I say. That's what I have never met a topic that couldn't be talked about. So let's talk about it. I say we talk about it. Let's talk about it.
How they're evil? How boundaries are evil because they keep us from flying.
Well,
Well,
there you
that
go.
would be
There
a
you
good
go.
thing
That's
to
your
talk
side.
about.
That's your side. And we'll hear others. I'm sure.
As we
Not
ponder,
boundaries that keep me from flying.
Boundaries don't keep me from flying.
I just don't know how yet.
Always boundaries. Always boundaries. It's like they clip my wing.
Aw, somebody.
I don't like them. I don't like boundaries.
as we will find out more in our next session. Thank you and goodbye. End scene.
Yes!
Oh my goodness.
Yes!
That was terrifying.
I want to see everybody. Put us back on the full grid.
I can't see anything. I've got a little film strip. I haven't been able to see
Yes.
anybody this whole
You
time.
you punch.
Click on the grid box again.